Yeah. All right, where's Vinny? Alex, come on up. So the backstory here is not too long ago, SF New Tech took to the road. Actually, we fled town and visited a bunch of other cities. One of which was Salt Lake City, and we discovered Alex and his app called Vinny in Salt Lake, and he's kicking ass in Salt Lake until he decided to move to New York City, and now he's in San Francisco making the rounds. So I said, dude, you have to hit the stage. Great app if you're in the market for a vehicle. So Vinny is Vinny as in VIN number, but I'll let you tell folks about that. So tell me when you're ready to roll.
Easier one. Give you a quick intro on the app, and then I'll give you a live demo of what we do. Vinny is basically a VIN scanning application in the used car market, essentially to keep you from getting ripped off the next time you buy a used car. My partner, who's in the audience now, our backgrounds aren't in the car industry. It was actually a pretty organic start to it. When I moved from New York out to Utah a couple years ago, I'd never owned a car in my life. I went to buy a used car and realized a couple weeks afterwards that I was pretty severely ripped off. I overpaid by about 30%. I made friends with a wholesaler who eventually said, wow, you paid that much money. These cars are trading through the auctions for much less than that. So Stuart and myself started banging our heads together and said, there's got to be an opportunity in here. This is the second largest retail market after commercial and individual real estate. How can there be so much obfuscation or lack of transparency in the market? So what we did was we signed up as dealers. We've gotten access, and because we're dealers, we get access to the wholesale auction markets, and most of these auctions are private, so it's dealer only. And we take that data, and what we've done is create algorithms around that data. Further. We create algorithms around that data, and what we've done is create Vinny's price. So I'll give you a quick demo of this. We can't bring a car up here, but I took a photo of my VIN number. And I'll fire up the app. So the app is live. We launched it out of beta about 5 weeks ago. We just crossed about 50,000 downloads. It's a free app. There's no ads on here. And I'll show you how it works. It's a VIN scanner. So you scan the VIN barcode on the vehicle. I'll turn off the light here. And there it goes. So what this does is the large letters there and the numbers there are Vinny's price. And that's the data, that's essentially saying that's the dealer's cost for that car. And that price has never been available to consumers. So essentially you're on the lot and you're standing there and the dealer's got a sticker on there for $19,000. You've shown up with, and what I had in my pocket was Kelley Blue Book, some Auto Trader searches and Cars.com, and the dealers love that. And it's a typical definition of information asymmetry. These dealers have all the data on the cars. You have Kelley Blue Book, which is owned by Auto Trader, that makes all their money from dealers. So this number is essentially here to help you negotiate a price on that car. What you can do as well, you can add the miles on there. The miles obviously are on the VIN. So the algorithm is loaded onto the app, so you can adjust the miles to match that vehicle. You can adjust the condition between fair, good, and excellent, and adjust the miles. Now, the revenue channel's on here, and again, our focus, because we're not in the car industry, I think we're independent, and what we don't do is take referral payments from dealers. So the end result of this app is not to direct you to a car dealer, it's to help the buyer or the seller negotiate a price on a car. We do have a revenue channel. We've got a vehicle history report, so this is going out. We've partnered with a couple ex-Google guys who've created VIN Audit. You can purchase a vehicle history report on here. It's $4.99 on our app. It's about $40 on Carfax. You can also get specifications on here. Quite often dealers don't even know what they're looking at. I'm not a car guy. I don't know anything about cars. So we decided we'd decode the VIN and give you the full specs on that car. Again, you're standing on the lot. You can look at this. We've got retail and book values on here. A lot of people find this pretty useful. So again, you're standing there. You can say, you're charging $19.5. That's more than the Auto Trader average. So we actually what we do with that VIN is we decode it, and we say for that make, model, year, and trim, this is essentially the average price, and it's a bit more complex than that. But the price on Auto Trader, Cars.com, Kelley Blue Book here as well, you can see the spread. And when you adjust the miles, we adjust those prices as well. And the last thing we have on here right now is insurance quotes. again, for consumers, a lot of them realize insurance is going to be a cost, but they don't really see the disparity between different cars they scan. So when you're on the lot, you can scan a car, and we'll show you quick quotes for insurance. And pretty soon, we're going to have financing on here as well. So those are going to be our revenue channels. Again, right now, everything we do on the app is trying to figure out how we can help the consumer and not help the dealers.
Good stuff. Okay, questions for Alex, aka Vinny.
So where do you actually get the price data, and how do you get that just based on the VIN?
So we get the price data because we're signed up as dealers. We have access to the wholesale auction market, again, which is privileged access only for the dealers, and it reminded us of travel agents 10 years ago. And what the VIN does is the VIN is a 17-digit string. We decode the first 10 digits, and that breaks down the year, make, model, trim. So we take all the data from multiple auctions. We create our own hierarchy. We've got a database now of over 100 million cars. And actually, that scan is live. So when we scan it, we go out and hit our index. So we decode that VIN and then match it against a bucket of those type of vehicles that have traded in the last 30 days. We don't want to match that exact VIN number if it did trade through the auction, because that could be an anomaly, or they could have overpaid that day. So essentially, we put some math behind it.
So two quick things. How do you monetize first? And second, if the dealers find out that you're signed up as a dealer in their program and they kick you out so you no longer have data to the wholesale market, are you kind of screwed? There seems to be like one critical fail point here.
Well, the dealers don't control the auctions, and we're not competing against the auctions. So there's about roughly 30,000 dealers in the country, so it's a large, fragmented market. So what we're doing is, and as far as the terms of use, we're not violating the terms of use of the auctions. So as a dealer, we're licensed to go out to check a VIN and grab that data off the auctions. We use that data point in our algorithm. So we're not repurposing that data and saying this is what they paid. What we're doing is we're putting it in there and then calculating Vinny's price off the back of it. The dealers themselves couldn't shut us out of the auctions, to be clear, and we're not competing against the auctions themselves. But it is disruptive, so it is upsetting the dealers. But also we're seeing, we get lat long on every scan, so we can actually see dealers are using this app at the auctions when they're buying their own cars. So it's interesting. Right.
Hi, quick question. So I know buying a vehicle is a pretty major purchase for most people, and I wouldn't imagine most people would actually use this app more than once every 5 or 6 years. So I would think that the cost for acquiring a new customer would be quite high, given that. So how do you kind of deal with that with your model? Right. So right now our cost per acquisition is zero, and we're actually doing the rounds here, and we haven't done any marketing. And what we want to do is, first of all, the market's large. So you start at the top number. There's about 40 million used cars that will be sold this year, and that returns again next year. So if we just grab a certain percentage of that market every year and we don't have a repeat customer, we're okay with that. But we are putting a lot of thought into how can we take this out of the transaction and move it into more of like a fleet management. So even if you have one car, you could scan the car in your garage and get insurance quotes, or you could scan the car and get refinance quotes. A lot of our users have said, I want to scan the car and order parts. I want to order wiper blades. It's just one step easier than going to Amazon or eBay. So we're getting a lot of our direction. Again, we're close to 50,000 users, 50,000. We're trying to take a lot of direction from the users. So if you have any ideas on how it would be useful outside the transaction, again, we'd love to hear it.
How about older cars, antique cars? I mean, no non-scanned, where it's just still a plate.
Right. So there's no VIN. Well, the VIN itself came around like 1982, I believe, or 89.
Well, VIN goes back to at least the 60s, but it didn't have a scan code.
It didn't have the VIN barcode. So it really depends on the auctions and what goes through it. And we've been surprised what goes through it. And again, you get jet skis through it, you get trailers, you get boats. So it depends on the volume that goes through it. And we've had some, we've opened, we just closed our angel round about a month ago. These guys don't drive used cars, but they'll scan their Audi R8. Those go through auctions. It surprised us. So it's really a factor of if it goes through the auction, there's enough volume for us to make a calculated price. But it's really not meant for that kind of 10% of the market with the specialty cars. It's kind of the fat tail of it.
How are you registered as a dealer if you're not actually buying and selling cars?
Well, you don't have to buy and sell cars. You can register as a dealer in the used car market. And in fact, in the used car market is very deregulated. And it's actually the antithesis of the new car market. So you can essentially sign up as a dealer and you don't need to buy and sell cars. You could sign up as a dealer just to get access to the auctions and drive your own cars, get some sort of tax deduction and sell them. Now, we don't do that. Again, we're not incented to help the dealers at all. But in the used car market, it's difficult to become a dealer, but once you are, there's not many restrictions.
All right. Looks like we're out of time. 5 seconds more. That's it. That was good.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you. Vinny. All right.